once, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. Now today I'd like to show you my new sword. It's a Nodachi or Odachi, and so it's a Japanese sword, a massive Japanese sword. Now in this video what we're going to do is that first I'm going to show you the sword, and then I'm going to show you the sword around, the blade geometry and everything. Then I will be swinging it around a little bit to see how it feels to use an actual Nodachi, and I'll try some guards and some cuts, and then we will, of course I'll be wearing samurai armor to do that, because why not? Then we're going to talk a little bit about the history behind the Nodachi's usage in Japan. And then I will give my own final ideas on how it felt to handle an actual Nodachi. Let's get to it. Okay, so talking about the actual history behind this sword. Well, a Nodachi or Odachi could be used in two different situations. Either as a cavalry sword, some sources say. Of course, in that case, I think it would have to be slightly shorter than this one, because of course, a Nodachi could be of different length, from 140 to 180, roughly speaking. This is 180, so this is the biggest you can get. I would say that probably in order to be effectively used on horseback, it would have to be slightly smaller than this. But that's just my take on it. However, another way of using, which was probably most common as far as the biggest ones were concerned, was that they were used by infantry to contrast and fight against cavalry. So basically, these were used to cut down the horses. So basically, if there was cavalry charging in and I had an opportunity to wield one of these, then I would try to use all my power to swing it against the horse and kill the horse in order to then kill the horseman. So these two will be the most common ways of using a Nodachi. A Nodachi using for a normal duel, not really. It's a bit too big, and the center of mass causes some problems, and we will talk about this more specifically later on in this video. Now, real historical examples of Nodachi are very rare to find. Now, the reason for that has to do with the date 1615. Now, 1615 is a very important date because we've got the siege of Osaka, where we have Tokugawa Ieyasu face Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Now, after this battle, we have the issuing of new government laws which prohibited the usage of swords above a certain length. What this meant not only that Nodachi were not used in battle anymore, but also that all Nodachis that were around had to be cut to proper length. Now, producing a Nodachi was a rather expensive process because of how difficult it was to actually make it properly. Because of this, Nodachi also had a very important ceremonial role and were used for ritual purposes and offerings to the gods. So, how do you carry around a Nodachi? Well, a Nodachi is too long to be carried on the hip, like a katana, for quite simple reasons and quite obvious reasons. First of all, you will be bumping into everything around you within 2 meters almost, and also because it's very, very difficult to draw the sword from your hips. So there were 2 ways to carry a Nodachi, either on the back, so something like this. This was not the preferred way of carrying a Nodachi. Some people did and some samurai did, but it wasn't the preferred one because you can't draw it from the back because of its length. It was okay carrying it like this, and of course you would have a katana on your hips, so if you really needed to have a quick draw in combat, you could use your katana. And this, you would just have to unfasten it and then unsheath it. But another way, which was more common of carrying it, was simply to carry it by hand. And in the Muromachi period, it became quite popular to have servants help you out drawing it. So you would have someone behind you holding the scabbard while you would draw the beast and cut everything you had in front of you. So, there isn't an awful lot I can say about handling a Nodachi comparing it to a katana, but what I'm about to say might sound counterintuitive, meaning that, of course, it's less nimble to use than a katana, and although I could technically wield it with one hand, it's so slow that it's actually practically useless. You have to use it two-handed. Now, this is, however, and that's the counterintuitive part, this is, however, not because of its weight. This is, again, the length is 180, but the weight is less than 2 kilos. This is 180, pretty much. It's not because of the weight, it's because of all the extra mass on the blade. And this actually makes you fall out of balance quite a lot, and I think I will need quite a lot of practice getting used to wield one of these. The point of balance and the center of mass, these are the things that I find to be an issue with using one of these as compared to a normal katana or uchigatana as well. Okay, well, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please remember, thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content from the Metatron. And remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye.